Many nations around the world have communities of compatriots living abroad. For instance, numerous countries host Chinese communities settled locally. In the Americas, there are large populations of Italians, Irish, Spaniards, and Greeks. Although some of these people have lived abroad for many years, even generations, they maintain an unbreakable bond with their homeland. This connection, rooted in blood, religion, and culture, fosters a special affection for their country of origin. However, the relationship between world Jewry and Israel differs significantly from the typical bond between a country and its overseas diaspora. For most nations, the bulk of the population resides within the country, while the overseas diaspora represents only a minority. In Israel's case, the number of Jews living abroad has long exceeded the number residing within the country. Although this gap has narrowed over the decades, it will take many more years for Israel's domestic Jewish population to catch up with and surpass the global diaspora. Moreover, the direction of population movement for most countries is outward, from the homeland to other nations, whereas Jewish migration has historically been in the opposite direction. Over the past century, Jews have steadily returned from around the world, making Israel the homeland to which they trace their roots from 2,000 years ago. The law of return, a right, not a privilege. Crucially, no other country grants its overseas citizens the automatic right to return, settle, and acquire citizenship. Israel explicitly confers this right on Jews living abroad. The 1948 Declaration of Independence clearly stated that Israel would open its doors to Jews scattered around the globe. Subsequent legislation, the Law of Return, 1950. These distinctive provisions stem from the unique historical relationship between Jews and Israel. Beyond the conventional ties between a nation and its people, a powerful spiritual bond connects world Jewry to Israel. Though Jews left Palestine in ancient times and dispersed worldwide, they have maintained a deep emotional attachment to the land, viewing it as their homeland and a sacred religious site. This spiritual connection is reflected in religious beliefs, sacred texts, and daily customs. For centuries, Jews have recited a famous prayer, "Next year in Jerusalem," expressing both a longing for triumph and the enduring hope of returning to the homeland. This spiritual bond, lasting thousands of years, forms a core element of Jewish faith and has provided the cohesion that has allowed the Jewish people to endure dispersion without vanishing. Ingathering of the exiles. The establishment of Israel provided a concrete expression of Jews' attachment to the land of Palestine. Many Jews, particularly Zionists, believe that only by living in Israel can Jews truly return home. Otherwise, no matter where they reside or how comfortable their lives, they remain in exile. They consider the return of Jews to their ancestral land a sacred duty. As David Ben-Gurion stated, Israel was established for the Jews of the entire world. If Israel were to lose its status as a homeland in the eyes of world Jewry, it would also lose its raison d'etre. From its inception, Israel adopted the national policy of ingathering of exiles, aimed at encouraging and assisting Jews worldwide to return. The 1950 Law of Return and the 1952 Nationality Law stipulated that all Jews residing in the country at the time of statehood, as well as their descendants born thereafter, automatically acquire Israeli citizenship and nationality. Any Jew setting foot on Israeli soil immediately gains citizenship, unless they are a foreign diplomat or voluntarily renounce the right. Guided by the principle of ingathering, Israel has built its nation by continuously absorbing Jewish immigrants from around the world, growing from nothing to a strong state. Israel is a quintessential immigrant nation. Without global Jewish immigration, modern Israel would not exist. Despite economic and fiscal challenges following its establishment, Israel has never ceased efforts to absorb overseas Jews. Jewish immigration to Israel is called Aliyah, meaning ascent, symbolizing the journey from exile to the Jewish homeland. New immigrants are referred to as olam, or those who ascend. Israel as protector. For Jews still living worldwide, Israel serves not only as a homeland and spiritual center, but also as protector and advocate. During the 1950s and 1960s, when some Muslim countries in the Soviet Union discriminated against Jews or restricted their immigration, the Israeli government actively intervened to protect their interests. Although most overseas Jews do not hold Israeli citizenship, the laws of some countries, such as the United States and Argentina, permit dual nationality, enabling Jews to acquire Israeli citizenship while retaining their original nationality. For example, nearly 500,000 American Jews hold Israeli citizenship. A complex relationship, support, and dissent. Consequently, Israel's relationship with world Jewry is both unique and nuanced. On one hand, most Jews welcome the establishment of Israel and regard it as their homeland. First, Israel is the only Jewish state in the world, the first since the ancient Jewish nation fell 2,000 years ago. Second, even Jews who do not intend to immigrate have a safe refuge in times of persecution or disaster. Third, as a cultural and spiritual center, Israel ensures that the Jewish people and culture are preserved against assimilation. On the other hand, not all Jews support the establishment of Israel. Many have settled comfortably in their countries of residence, becoming part of local society. Israel's creation has posed political and psychological dilemmas. Should their loyalty lie with Israel or their home country? How would the law of return affect their status? Could it provoke anti-Semitism? Some religious Jews even consider Israel a human creation, not divinely sanctioned, and therefore illegitimate. In the 1950s, some American Jewish community leaders publicly stated that the United States was their homeland and their loyalty belonged solely to it. Ben-Gurion responded that while Israel is open to all Jews, it represents only its citizens, not Jews of other countries. Financial and political influence. For most Jews worldwide, Israel is considered a spiritual homeland, reflecting their unique history and ancestral ties to Palestine, and they feel an obligation to support it. Between 1950 and 1980, Israel received donations and loans totaling billions of U.S. dollars from overseas Jews, accounting for more than one-third of its foreign aid during that period. Across Israel, donor plaques are commonly seen on schools, hospitals, libraries, sculptures, ambulances, and public facilities. The Jerusalem Fund, established in 1966 to renovate historic sites and municipal facilities, had raised over $200 million by the late 1980s, largely from global Jewish donations. Overseas Jews also leveraged their social status, economic power, and voting influence to shape their country's foreign policies in favor of Israel, particularly evident in the United States. Although Jews comprise only 2% of the American population, their influence in business, law, academia, and entertainment is significant. High voter turnout and concentrated votes amplify their political impact. As a result, the U.S. has maintained a pro-Israel stance and a special relationship with Israel. Some even describe the American Jewish lobby as Israel's army on another front. Israel maintains close ties with world Jewry through international organizations, including the World Zionist Organization, WZO, the Jewish National Fund, JNF, and the Jewish Agency. These organizations operate independently from the government, handling policymaking, fundraising, and personnel management. Figuratively, these international organizations act as major arteries, linking Israel at one end and Jewish communities worldwide at the other, channeling immigrants, funds, and resources to Israel while spreading Israel's political, economic, and cultural influence to Jews around the world.